Alright, alright, alright. Let's go ahead and switch. Boop. Let's see. Alright. All of the doors in the arena that were sealed opened at the same time. Julius must have somehow hacked the arena and blocked the passageways. Those doors must have been Julius's doing. Now that the way is clear, we need to make up for lost time. Alright. Let's go ahead and grab some loot. Oh, nope. I did not mean to actually step on the thing. Oof. Alright. Ow. Alright, Magic Crystal Sphere, okay. Ow. Nice! Alright,
けるところまで進めばいいさ。律儀な奴らだ。承知。
Ow. Nope, 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 nope. Alright, you do.
律儀な奴らだ。切り込むか。ここか。すまん。調子が出る。
Let's see. Ow. Ow. Oh, that's bad. Rewind. And I need to remember to save state more often. Speed up. Let's try this again. I don't think I even saw what it was I grabbed from this one anyway. Ether crystal, okay. Speed up. Speed up. Speed up. Speed up.
休んでいる暇はないぞ。任 す
Alright.
あって困るものでもなし遠慮なくいただいておこう
Going through here. See that.
先に進もうマスター マスターぶりも板についてきたようだマスターぶりも板についてきたようだ助かるコンディションは正常な方がいい
Alrighty. Let's try this again.
律儀な奴らだ承知
Ow.
態度はない推し進めマスター
There we go.
いい指示だった予定通りだ先に進もうマスター
Do. Uh-oh. There doesn't seem to be any enemies lurking around here, so maybe I can actually relax for a while. What's up, Master? Something shiny in the room catch your attention? I quickly explained. It wasn't the room that distracted me, but the thoughts of the story Archer told me earlier. After seeing that look on the face of one so enigmatic, there's no way I can pretend that I didn't hear anything.
やれやれ
I was just babbling. Seriously, just forget I said anything. Nothing I said was very meaningful after all. If it's no big deal, why won't he tell me what's wrong? Why make me worry like this? It's not like Archer at all. Not like me, huh? I like that you speak your mind now. You're right. I was being somewhat disingenuous. With that, I could see the tension melt away from Archer's shoulders. With one of his habitual self-mocking sighs, he turns and faces me.
いいだろう
There is no way to dance around it, so here it is. I've broken one of the cardinal rules of the Holy Grail War. Rather than that of the Moon Cell, I've made the safety of my master my top priority. I've tried to reset my priorities, but unfortunately, I'm not a robot to be programmed. Funny, because when I was mortal, I could do this type of thing without a thought, but... Whatever the case, I'm sure you're not going to be very happy about what I'm going to say next. Masters are always held accountable for their servants' transgressions. The Moon Cell will undoubtedly consider you the target for any punishment if it feels necessary. So, I apologize. If you had more command seals, I'd have forced you to make me a berserker, but... Archer begins to grind his teeth in frustration and anger, as though he loathes what his actions may cost me. A paragon of justice while alive, the person before me never allowed himself to be subordinate to anyone. He's actually apologizing for going against his nature and putting my well-being over that of the Seraph. Really? His ignorance is so sincere that it renders me speechless. He doesn't seem to get it, does he? I can't believe this. I guess I'll have to put it into short, simple words so even he can understand. Thank you, Archer. I just blurt out the first thing that comes to mind. It wouldn't have mattered if I was kind or abusive. felt indebted to Archer for a while. From our first meeting until now, he's always supported me. But there's nothing I can give to him in return except heartfelt words of appreciation. But I think that's enough. I am truly grateful that he put the welfare of his master above that of the Moon Cell. The fact that we somehow have made it this far means a great deal to both of us. The fact that I'm still alive even now is testament to this legendary soul's devotion to me. The bond we share means more to me than anything.
なるほど。
Bond, huh? That's, how do I say this diplomatically? That took balls to say something like that. Archer acts stunned, but I've come to learn that's how he tries to hide his embarrassment. But it's as good a word as any, I suppose. Straightforward enough that anyone can understand it. An actual genuine smile lights up Archer's face as he repeats the word again and again. The ever-present grimness that usually colors his expression is gone, replaced with something akin to hope. Before there's time to enjoy the moment, uh-oh. I don't remember this being in Saber's route. What in the hell is that? An ominous figure approaches us. It feels as if its only purpose is to eliminate us both.
なるほど。
That can't be anything other than an enemy program controlled by the Moon Cell itself. That must mean the Moon Cell has decided on a punishment for Archer's actions. Oddly, I'm actually relieved. I was worried that the punishment would be far more outrageous. Color me disappointed. I'm sure I'll be able to deal with this with absolutely no problem. And anyway, the Moon Cell's direct interference doesn't change what we still need to accomplish. If it chooses to be my enemy, I'll just have to show it exactly what me and Archer are capable of.
期待に応えるとしよう。
That's right, Master. Now it's my turn to meet your expectations.
問題ない。勝負。
Okay. Ow. You know what? Screw it. Actually, let's, fortification. Hey, drink. What did that do? Oh, God. Okay, Okay, let's see. Ow.
立て直せ
Ow! Okay, how do I get past that ace skill? Ow! Yeah! Okay. Alright, you know what? You're fighting the very system you're in. Of course it's hard. Yeah, but... There we go. There we go. I got an elixir for that. Worth it. And almost as if it was never there, the program sent to kill us vanishes. The bond that we share, even if it's against the rules, I will not allow it to be destroyed. Perfect. Your magic circuits are now allowing me to use a whopping 120% of my potential. The enemy programs we faced have been strong, but their strength is as nothing compared to that of our bond. Although I have a sneaking suspicion that this is what the Moon Cell wanted to happen. The bond that exists between master and servant. This whole thing may have been set up to test that bond. If it was a test of that bond, then we seem to have passed. Archer stood up straight, looking proud of himself, and, impossible as it may be, totally dependable. We better get going, Master. The time for sentimentality is over, yes? He's right. Even as we speak, Leo may have already taken possession of the Holy Grail. What we faced just now was only one of many obstacles. We haven't even gone beyond the first floor yet. But one thing I can say for certain. What I now have with Archer is more valuable than any treasure. I don't remember that boss being in the Saber route, so maybe that was like a unique encounter to Archer?
子ならいいんだがね。
And I guess over here is the trigger. I feel sorry for Julius, but the dead can never match the living. And so we were able to nab the trigger. But if you plan on continuing your exploration of the arena, for God's sake be careful, okay?
まったく厄介事だらけだよ。
Let's see. There we go. Ow. Ow. A little overkill, but I think it warrants it. Got an elixir, okay. Alrighty. Take that nap, Archer. You earned it. I suddenly realized that I haven't seen Leo once since day one. The only remaining masters in the school are me, Leo, and Rin. At least I have two people to talk to. I just wish one of them wanted to have a conversation right now. We could talk about... Oh, that's right. I never asked Rin what she'd wish for with the Holy Grail. The second cipher key has been generated on the second floor. terminal chimes informing me of a challenge. The last challenge. By meeting it, the door to the last elimination battle will open. While I'm immersed in thought, the classroom door slides open and Kotomine appears. It seems you've been alerted to the next challenge. I'm delighted that my work is almost done. Your opponent has received his notification as well. You do well not to back down now. I don't need Kotomine to warn me that the search for the final cipher keys won't be easy. I run the risk of crossing swords with Leo on the second level too. Then I won't see you again until the day of the elimination battle. Good luck. His chuckle sort of undermines the whole meaning of good luck. He leaves the classroom. The last challenge. There are 4 days left until the day of the elimination battle, and my uncertain fate awaits me there. I should do whatever I can so that I have no regrets. Alright, let's see. When I arrive on the roof, I'm surprised to see that Reen isn't in her usual spot. How's it going, Silver? Why don't you come up here? A voice comes from overhead. It's Reen Tosaka, looking at the sky from atop the entryway. Accepting her invitation, I go to the indicated spot where Reen plops down beside me. Come to think of it, I don't think I ever told you the reason I entered the Holy Grail War. From out of the blue, she starts into a fairly serious topic. As Data, you have no idea about life outside of the war, so let me tell you some of the basics. For the past 20 years, the world has been in stasis. Things have neither gotten better or worse. I agree with Leo about one thing. Change ignites conflict, so maybe stasis isn't such a bad thing. That's what I thought at first. Then I realized just how joyless life has become for everyone. For most people, simple joy is something trivial that's easily overlooked or even dismissed. However, for Reen, the lack of joy or even simple happiness was enough to spur her into action. It seems that in reality, the world is being warped for some unknown purpose. Without change, there will be no chance for things to improve, no matter how much time passes. The only thing that can happen in such a world is that people stop living and merely exist. That's why I oppose the Harways and everything they stand for. My goal was to overthrow those who have traded progress for stability and give humanity a real future. I fought alongside others for many years, but our foe's power was too much to overcome. But the Holy Grail contains enough power to topple the mightiest of foes, and that's why I'm here. After her last statement, she takes a deep breath. She then turns and looks at me with an anxious, almost worried expression on her face. Don't get the wrong idea. I'm not asking you to use the Holy Grail to make my wish come true. After all, only the winning master has the right to make a wish, not a dropout like me. But I just wanted you to know why I entered and how I felt. That I'm basically a rash and impetuous person who chooses chaos over complacency. That's all I wanted to say to you. Sorry about making you sit here and listen for so long. With that, she cuts off any further conversation and stares up at the fabricated sky. Right now, all I can do is gaze at her profile. But I wonder why so much of Reen's speech was in the past tense. I can see resignation cloud her expression as she continues to look up into the sky. She has entrusted a great many secrets to me right now. Only the master who claims the Holy Grail can leave the Seraph. For Reen, the days before the final battle will be her... Don't look so down, and don't underestimate me. I've been probing the Seraph every day. Don't worry, I'll find a loophole. Stop thinking about me and start focusing on Leo. Her sudden smile was enough to lighten my mood and make all of my angst go away. I doubt there's anything under the sun that would be a match for this girl. Of all the people I've known throughout all this, she's definitely the most important to me. Alright, let's head down to the chapel and give Archer a little buff. So I think I've realized what kind of servant I'd be. I would be a caster, and my attacks would be similar to Rhymes, but they would be D&D themed, as I'm a DM. I can see that. Like you would actually be summoning dragons, goblins, orcs. Ooh. Okay. Gonna set those up so we can get a couple of good buffs for Archer next time we level up. Maybe my NP would be the Tarasuke. Ah. Interesting to see how your Tarasuke would compare with St. Martha's Tarasuke. Ooh, Taiga! Silver, care to listen to your favorite teacher's absolute final request? If it's the last one, registration is now closed. I know I've been making you work really hard, but this is the final one. Honest. I have a feeling that somewhere in the arena is an object that grants wishes. If you go and get it for me, I promise I will leave you alone. Really, no more requests ever. You can find it today, only on the arena's second floor. Could you please go get it for me now? The younger Harway stands in the hallway. A red-clad prince waiting to grant me an audience. It's Leo. It's okay. I didn't bring Gawain with me. I have something I wish to speak to you about. Leo's words are disarming. It's true. Gawain, who's usually by his side, is nowhere to be seen. When you fought my brother, I did not expect you to escape digital death. You bested him, though. And it is a credit to my brother that you have held out until the very end. Thank you for that. You have my gratitude. It's hard to tell if he's agitated about his brother's death since he's thanking me. Could any normal person be so calm in this situation? It gives me the creeps to listen. My brother was weak, and that's why he was selfish and defensive. While he said he believed me, he really just believed his childhood promise to his mother. But he must have been happier that way. If Leo's mother was the woman who Julius mentioned at the end, and the one who wished Leo well, then he must have been happy when he died, remembering that face and that voice. At least I think so. Anyway, you did well by my brother. I know he would want to thank you, and... Hold your tongue, Leo. There's no need to converse with your enemy at this point. I told you not to manifest, Gawain. I apologize for his behavior. He holds no malice, so please try to forgive him. Castigated by Leo, Gawain frowns and disappears. Not missing a beat, Leo continues. In any case, our battle commences in just 4 days. I look forward to the unparalleled battle ahead of us, Silver. He speaks with sportsmanship, but I can tell he doesn't think that he will lose. I'm still curious about one thing. Why is Leo participating in the Holy Grail War? The reason I want the Holy Grail? For world peace, of course. The Holy Grail will be effective in strengthening the Harway rule. Harway's management system is what keeps the world stable. The real world, that is. Neither strife nor poverty exist within its limited domain. Expanding the boundaries of that domain is top priority. Maybe some people will feel a bit stifled by the system, but it's for the greater good of humanity. We want the world to understand that. I don't think Leo is lying. He truly believes he's performing a great service for humanity. He's self-righteous, but looking at his face, I am jealous of his self-confidence. It's better to forget doubts like he has. Alright. Hey, Green Knight. Alright, second floor, here we go. Now, I remember this one being cool. Yeah! A sea lit up by a sunset. It's always something new with this arena. This is the last area. Master, let's stay focused and head out. The last area. These are the final few yards in the long journey towards the Holy Grail. Whatever happens, this is the end. So why does this brilliant sun fill my heart with such unease? I haven't fought Leo once since the finals began. It's still unclear how powerful his servant is. He's a Knight of the Round Table, one of King Arthur's chosen, Gawain, the White Knight. I wonder if my abilities are a match for his.
行くぞ。気持ちを切り替えろ。
Alright, here we go. We made it to heaven, guys! Earth was inverted the whole time! Hmm...
承知。
Alright, let's see. Screw it. Ah, these guys. Claustrophobia. There we go.
本領発揮だなマスター万事がこの調子ならいいんだがね
Staff of Rebuke.
そうとはありがたい吐きだめになったな
Ooh, bigger MP heal. Yes, we definitely need that. Next time I get to the commissary, first thing I need to do is restock on those magic crystal fragments. Teacher's Emblem.
あって困るものでもなし遠慮なくいただいておこう
Teacher's Emblem, the tutorial version of Fire Emblem. 30,000, okay.
あって困るものでもなし遠慮なくいただいておこう
Magic Crystal Sphere, okay.
あって困るものでもなし遠慮なくいただいておこう来た律儀な奴らだ
Alright, let's see. That.
本領発揮だなマスター手応えもない私たちの敵ではなかったな
Alright.
勝負
Ow.
覚力さんが叩き込む 真偽無欠にして盤石
Okay, couple of good hits. He's guarding on this one.
叩き込む
Ouchies!
真偽無欠にして盤石見えたせい 覚力さんが叩き込む なるほど3本じゃないか
Nice! I made a good call.
予定通りだ
Alrighty.
先に進もうマスター
Alright. think I have like 2 of those. Yeah. Alright, now let's see. I'm running low. Pure ether.
気を楽に
Not the best read. But we take those.
らしくなってきたなマスター切り込むか返すぞいい指示だった手応えもない
Alrighty.
敵ではなかったな
Careful, Master. It seems that our opponent has entered the arena. I can sense that Leo has entered the arena as well. His aura isn't malevolent like Julius's, or subtle like Ronnie's. The pure, unclouded flow of his magic makes me think of the sun shining in a clear blue sky. They've finally appeared. Shall we welcome them, Master? Isn't it reckless to head into battle? Still, it will help to see Gawain in action.
行きましょう。ガウェイン。
純白の
Okay. There he is. When we reach where a passageway empties into an open space, Leo appears at the other end. I exchange a quick glance with Archer before we jump out in front of Leo. To his credit, Leo doesn't react, other than smiling like he just ran into a friend.
こんにちは。
Hello, Silver. And hello. I don't believe we've been introduced. Nice to meet you, Archer. I look forward to fighting you from the bottom of my heart. Somebody's antsy. If you're looking forward to the fight so much, how about we spar a little for giggles? Your sarcasm isn't cute. And your attitude towards royalty is intolerable. Pull back and cower like an archer should, nameless servant. It is alright, Gawain. Their challenge has enticed me. Please accept. As you wish. At Leo's signal, Gawain readies his sword. He somehow looks more hulking when he does so. So, his boss's life is top priority. That's chivalry for you. My sword is an extension of my king's arm. If he retracts his arm, then I sheathe my blade. My holy sword, my body, they are but vessels for the will of my sovereign. A holy sword. Gawain, one of the best-known knights of the Round Table, holds the sister sword to Excalibur. Its name is... Galantine. Quite the legendary sword you have there. But, you only wield it when your king wants? I subjugate myself to the king's will and defeat the enemies for the king. That is all I exist for. I will carve into your body with this symbol of the sun that serves my king.
期待に応えるとしようどうあれ
Alright. What would be a good start? Fortification. Ow.
その貫かせていただく見えた返すぞその呼吸を乱す
Huh.
突き破る
His guard got buffed, and so did his luck.
まだ力を感じます
Oof.
なるほど
Okay, I just need to last this one more turn. Ah! Gawain, it seems time is up. Please, put away your sword.
御意
As you command. I have the Seraph's intervention to thank for my life, I believe. There isn't a single scratch on Gawain's silver armor, but Archer is struggling for breath. Today was fun, Silver. I look forward to engaging you in combat again. With a smile, Leo disappears off into the arena. Did not expect that. Never mind the capabilities of his blade, his armor doesn't have a scratch. So the legends about the Knight of the Sun are true? It was too much. I, as well as Archer, have overcome a lot of powerful enemies, but it's beyond us to make even a scratch on Gawain's armor. Just 4 days remain before the elimination battle. I wonder if we can really close the gap in ability before then. There must be something we can do. If we don't find a solution, I won't be able to reach the Holy Grail. Alright, so. The sword of Sir Gawain and the sister sword to Excalibur. It is said that, like Excalibur, Galatine once belonged to the Lady of the Lake. However, its legends have been overshadowed by its more famous counterpart, and therefore very few people know of its true significance. Another difference is that while Excalibur was said to absorb the light radiated from the earth, Galatine reflected the warming rays of the sun. While King Arthur was ruled by the movement of Artemis, the goddess of the moon, Sir Gawain drew his strength as a knight from the sun. It is said that his powers are at their greatest when the sun is at its zenith. Imagine how Gawain would be in a cowboy movie. Arthur, said to be the mightiest of all the kings to rule Britain, is believed to have ruled sometime in the 5th or 6th century. The sword that is said to have proclaimed his right to rule was bestowed upon him by the elemental known in the legends as the Lady of the Lake. The entire episode was passed down in the stories collectively known as King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. Alright. Okay, back to the route we were going. Archer couldn't deal Gawain a lick of damage. His strength must be... Unless we eliminate that, we'll just be repeating the same battle over and over. Okay, so... I guess there's not much else I can do other than leave. Ah!
ではひとときの休息を。
Hey, at least we got some info. Damn. To think I couldn't even make a single scratch on the guy. There's gotta be some sort of trick to his invulnerability. We'll find it out and level the playing field. There are 4 days left in the preparation period. Figure it out like you always do. Alright. Gawain is so strong. The power he met me with in the arena surpassed my expectations. Archer's attacks didn't even put a scratch in his armor. What? There's nothing new about your enemies being more powerful than you, Master. But you always overcome them. There's no reason you can't this time, too. Now's the time to make use of that inner tenacity. Leo's perfect, but he's alone. Don't you have another flawed human being to help you? That's right. Not a single fight has been easy. I just need to do the same thing one more time. Just once more. I shouldn't worry because I have Rin as my ally. Alright, up here we go. And talking to Rin. So you faced off against Gawain. I tell Rin about my encounter with Gawain, who I fought against the previous day. His name which bears no shame, the blade that shines like the sun, his apparent invincibility. They obviously have nothing but contempt for you if they simply told you Gawain's identity. They're probably counting on the divine protection of the morning sun that Gawain supposedly has. As long as the sun shines, Gawain might be the mightiest legendary soul, even greater than Arthur. The power of legend. Gawain's exploits are described in detail in the Knights of the Round Table mythos. It's said that he was a hero who was blessed with great powers by the sun. Now that I think about it, his abilities seem to be taken straight from the legends. But every hero has a weakness, and Gawain is no exception. No matter how powerful his abilities, he cannot escape the shackles of his legacy. And according to legend, overcoming his greatest strength will leave him vulnerable. The stories say Gawain died by the hand of Sir Lancelot, who waited until the sun set to strike what became a fatal blow. But in the Seraph, the arena days are controlled by the system. I couldn't imagine the sun setting while inside there. If that's the case, all we have to do is block out the sun for a while. Even with my power, I'm not sure how long I'll be able to keep it up. While Rin's power as a magus is without question, to use such an advanced technique, I wonder if there's something I can do to help. Right. As this is going to be a Herculean task, I'll need a place where I can concentrate. At first, I couldn't think of a place on campus that a magus could work without bother. Maybe the multimedia room that Julius was using before? But the secret to gaining access to it probably died with its original occupant. For now, I'll poke around the multimedia room. Maybe I'll find a clue about how to get in. The multimedia room. This place must have facilities that support extensive hacking. I place my hand on the door and wonder how to get in. I knew it. I earned a mild electric shock when I touched the door. It's been booby-trapped. Julius left a trap to deny entry to anyone but himself, I see. I have an idea. If only Julius can enter, then I just have to pretend that I'm Julius. Now I'm going to masquerade as a guy, I don't know. If only I had something of his. Anyway, I'll go look around the place where I fought Julius. Maybe I'll find a clue. So I gotta go back onto the first floor of the arena. Stopping by the commissary. Restocking on those. Is Taiga up there? She is! So did you find it? The object that grants wishes? This isn't it. Please, you have to get it for me. Come on, you'll try again, won't you? If I must. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You have my gratitude. The object that grants wishes has to be on the arena's second floor. It just has to. That area is probably over the sea right now, so everything should be copacetic. Copacetic. After 2 days' time, I won't be able to see you again, so please get what I asked for before that. Alright, let's see. And I don't have any SP, so... Let's see. Alright, so on the first floor, where I fought Julius. One of Julius's possessions. We need a bit of his data in order to fool the protection protocols placed on the multimedia room. Perhaps I should go to where he and I fought and where he disappeared. Might be able to find something of his there, or at the very least some kind of clue. There isn't much time left in the prep period. If I don't look into it today, I might not get another chance. I should be a bit more cautious when I go exploring.
さて始めようか
While I'm here. What am I doing on status? Yeah, I could do a little grinding. Ow. Alright, that didn't turn out too bad.
この調子ならいいんだがね い 律儀な奴らだ。任せろ。ここが取られた。まだだ。
ナイスナイスナイス。
休んでいる暇はない
I
ぞ。
already got that, so alright,
切り込むか。ここが浅はかだな。いい指示だった。足止めを食らったな。急ごう。
okay,
任せろ。
ow.
見えた。せい。退路はない。押し進めマスター。 いい指示だった。
Alrighty.
先に進もう、マスター。律儀な奴らだ。切り込むか。浅はかだな。
Ah.
ここが浅はかだな。
Whew, that was good.
いい指示だった。
Oop. Give me just a second.
進めばいいさ。
Sorry about that. Okay, there we go.
Hey, 律儀な奴らだ。
Try it here.
任せろ。
Ow. Ow. Okay, yep, nope. Oh, jeez. I'm all the way back here. Speed up. I guess I got a little ambitious there.
私たちの敵ではなかったな。リーチにやつだ。
Okay,
切り込むか。
ow.
消え去るがいい。万事がこの調子ならいいんだがね。
Alright, tap the horse on the butt.
律儀な奴らだ。
Hmm. Ow.
返すぞ。退路はない。押し進め、マスター。
Let's see. There we go.
律儀な奴らだ。切り込むか。
Ow.
ここか。すまん。調子が出る。
There we go.
いい指示だった。
404, experience not found.
急ごう。
Alright, let's see. There we go. Okay.
いい指示だった。予定通りだ。先に進もう、マスター。
Here. This is where I fought with Julius, and where he finally disappeared for good. As I carefully examine the area where he stood, I see a black feather lying on the floor. Hey, isn't that from the collar of Julius's coat? I'm sure that a piece of something he obviously cherished should be sufficient to stand in for him. Interesting thought. Maybe something so tied to Julius would be enough to break through the protection. I'll give it a try as soon as I return to campus.
ああ、賛成だ。いい加減、外が恋しくなってきた。
Alright. Okay. I have a possession of Julius's that I picked up in the arena. With this, I may be able to break into the multimedia room and use it as a base. This is a piece of Julius's clothing. This might work. We should be able to fool the multimedia room's security with this. The multimedia room will be the perfect base. Swing by tonight. I should have something by then. We'll work more on our plan of attack once you show up. I hope everything goes well. No, I need to focus on chipping away at Gawain's ability for now. Does Archer have anything to say to me? Only a few days remain until the Holy Grail War comes to an end. My upcoming battle with Leo is starting to make me incredibly nervous. Of all the masters I've faced, he seems to be the one most likely to claim the Holy Grail. He's the only master I've spoken with consistently since the prelims. I never thought that we'd be the last one standing.
これといって急務もない。マスター、
I have nothing to say,
何
really.
か話でもしないか。
Is there something you need to get off your chest, Master? I guess my nerves are really showing if Archer notices. My obvious lack of composure has him a little concerned. This is a rare opportunity. I really should take the chance to talk about my concerns about Leo. Actually, let's save state here. The war is coming to an end, and I can't help but focus on the differences between me and Leo. I'm just an average Joe. Not only am I not a Magus, I didn't even choose to be here. From the Moon Cell's view, my success is probably less interesting than the differences between me and Leo. I assume that the Moon Cell is only interested in special humans like Leo, who have an indomitable will. Ah, but
特別な人間なんてもの。
every person is special in their own way. If you think otherwise, you definitely still have a lot to learn.
まだまだ修行が立ちそう。気象とは何だ。
What defines special anyway?
空を飛べ
If
る
a
人間
human
が
who could
空を
fly
飛ぶ
did so, it'd be interesting, but hardly surprising.
真の意味で希少なものがあるの
But
だ
if someone who never had the ability willed themselves to learn
翼のない
how,
人間
now
が
that'd be
空を
impressive.
飛ぶことだ。自分にできる限界
For what it's worth, my definition of a special person is the one who pushes the limits of what they are
奇跡なの
capable
かと
of.
私は思うがね。
I can't argue with that. And I have no qualms about what is required of me, and my partner, who was once just an average person like me, will be there with me until the end. There's no shame in being unremarkable. Now it's up to me to show Leo and the Moon Cell the power of being the underdog. Alright, now, what if I were to ask about Archer's true identity? My upcoming fight with Leo looms large in my mind, but right now I have a question I have to ask. Even more important than if I live or die, there is something I have to ask Archer before I go to meet my fate. Before, he claimed that he wasn't strictly a legendary soul. What exactly did he mean by that? How did an ordinary human become a legendary soul? And who was the hero of justice he was mocking?
まだあの話が気になる
What, you're still hung up on that?
まあ言ったな。
What a pain in the
あれはた
ass.
だのヨタ話だったのだ
It was just random idle chit-chat.
正義の体現者
Wasn't the grand proclamation of the embodiment of justice enough for you?
といた
I thought it sounded
実にいい言
impressive.
葉なんだが
That description seemed to refer to Archer. But what I want to know is what came before. I want to hear what he was like when he was immortal.
まったく物好きな性格だよ
Why did I get stuck with such an inquisitive master?
だが
Oh, well, what can you do? I normally hate wallowing in the past, but for some reason I'm feeling nostalgic.
自分でも笑ってしまうのだが
Just the thought of it makes me chuckle.
信じがたいことに
Now that I think about it, I suppose I wasn't nearly as bad of a person as I thought I was.
悪くない人生だったと思えているお前の影響だろう
You must be rubbing off on me.
たまにはそこの
I
気の
guess it
バカ者に
means
なるのも
that
いい
it's not so bad to be a sentimental fool from time to time.
そうだな
Yeah, now's as good a time as any to stop obsessing over what can't be changed. With that, Archer straightens himself up. His tone of voice is neither gloomy nor cheerful, but is strangely neutral. It's as if he's simply relaying a story of little significance or import.
と言っても
In the grand scheme of things, my story probably doesn't matter much.
サバイバーズギルト
Are you familiar with the term Survivor's Guilt? I'm the embodiment of all that means.
その
Survivor's guilt. A condition that those who survive a catastrophe often develop. Survivor's guilt. A condition where the survivor of a catastrophe believes they did something wrong by surviving when those around them died. Because they survived, they are special in some way. Or possibly they feel that since they are still alive, they have to do something exceptional in order to honor those who weren't as fortunate. And if the survivor didn't, it'd be the same as showing disrespect for the memory of the dead.
ああ
Yeah.
かつて私は
I was the sole survivor of a major disaster,
そこで唯一
and while my
生き延び
body
たらしい
lived, my soul died that day.
心はその時に死んでいた災害のただ中で私が思った
As the disaster was unfolding, my only thought was to somehow atone for the fact that I alone survived.
自分だけが生き残ってしまうだから
That's why
自分の命は
I do not consider my life my own.
死んでいった人たちの代わり
I
に
swore that I would never allow another tragedy like the one I survived to ever happen to others.
心に誓ったらしいそうでもしなければ
If I didn't do that, I wouldn't have been able to survive myself.
おそらく
It was then that I gave up my name.
その時に私は名前を失った自分のためではなく
I also gave up any claims to my humanity and swore that I'd live for those who had died and not for myself.
多くの人間を
To
助け
become a hero of justice whose purpose is to save others.
そんな自分勝
It
手な
was
勘
with this
違いを
warped idea that I grew up.
私は成長したそう困った顔をするな
Don't look so worried.
幼年期の
Don't point out how
トラウマだから
childish it all sounds
子供
considering
ら
how
しいという指摘
traumatized
は
I
勘弁して
was.
くれだが
But anything is possible if you're determined enough.
ただの餌
I
ごとに
somehow made a childish promise came true.
叶ってしまった幼年期から青年期を経
And
て
during the transition from childhood to adolescence, that man
気
finally
がつけば
realized
こ
what
の
he'd
形にな
become.
っていた力ある者が私欲によって
Someone
私
dared
欲
to
を
use
満
their
たすの
strength in
な
their
ら
own self-interest.
人々の代わりにこれ
I'd
を
stop them for the
打つ
good of others.
罪を犯す者がさらに
If a
罪を
criminal
犯
were
す
to
のな
attempt
ら
further crimes, I'd slay them before they had a chance to victimize another.
私は
I was a
武器を
magus whose
作ること
specialty
に
was
特化した
creating
ウィザード
weapons
だった
and was considered perfect for fighting
人々
evil.
に悪と認識されたものとそして
And on a related note, it's really not all that hard to become a hero of justice.
私欲を殺し
By acting selflessly and staying true to one's
人
ideals,
間は簡単に正義の
any
代
person
弁者
can
になる
become a personification of justice. I seriously doubt it's that easy at all. In fact, there seems to be something desperately wrong with killing your sense of self for the supposed good of others. I I can tell he's only sharing his bitterness and leaving other things out.
そうかもしれない
You may be right on that score.
彼は気にしな
But
かっ
at a certain point, he no longer cared.
た人々のためになる
He was addicted to the
という
feeling that his
使命感に
devotion to
陶
others
酔してい
gave
たか
him.
らねボランティア
In volunteering and in resistance, his self-righteousness allowed
彼
him
は
to save
正し
the
い
lives of
計りの
many.
もと多くの命を救ったらしい所詮は個人的な闘争に
While
過
it
ぎ
was
ない
for
が
selfish reasons, his desire to help others led to him becoming a legend amongst the people.
だったのかもなまあ
Under his altruism, he was just in truth a mercenary,
それでも
and he was alone only for a short time.
これでも友人はいた
In the midst of all this, he had friends, one of which approved of his ideals and took charge of all things. That is how he was able to immerse himself deeper and deeper into his sense of duty. Archer smiles a bit as he recounts the birth of a selfish, idealistic hero of justice. That smile, self-depreciating as it may be, is definitely a positive response to his memories. I see it in a flash of the young man who fully devoted himself to upholding his set of ideals. A man with supportive friends, a man with an understanding lover. I can see in Archer's smile that he's thinking, ah, the good old days. To say they were good old days would be an overstatement. I mean, the guy was a criminal. He may have thought he was on the side of justice, but he was no hero. Not this again. I still have yet to find anything objectionable in Archer's story. Didn't he save people? Doesn't that make him a hero? You're familiar with the ethical dilemma of whether it's okay to let 10 people die to save 100? Or the one about stealing a loaf of bread to feed your family? Jean Valjean? Or possibly, and stop me if you've heard this one before, a deadly virus spreads inside of an airplane, and passengers are dying by the minute. Amidst the terror, they still frantically attempt to reach the airport. Even though they're all miserable, they band together hoping to make an emergency landing at an airport. They act selflessly in order to save their fellow passengers, even though their own lives are forfeit. But when they reach the ground, the virus will have access to the 300,000 lives in the city. The groups are equally blameless, only different in size. Actually, the passengers on the plane are the biggest victims. Even in such hellish circumstances, they hold on to their humanity. He applauded them, you know. Those people on the plane who stubbornly clung to human decency. But he took their dying wish of landing the plane, and he crashed to the bottom of the sea. His ideals said, the good of the many outweighs the good of the few. It's an issue of life and death, not deontology. What Archer was talking about is like the plank of Carneades. It's a thought experiment where one person survives by acting in a way that causes the other to die. If one person didn't take action, both would die. It's a situation with no good options. It's always wrong to kill someone, no matter what ideals are at stake. To kill for personal gain is evil. So what if fewer people died, one way or the other? No one's life was really saved. That's why he said that he wasn't a hero so often. He protected the safety of the people in the city from risk. The part where he actively saved someone on the verge of death didn't happen. He said that someone who truly upholds justice is selfless. He told me that his spirit died in the disaster that he survived as a child. Both of those things are nonsense. I think that he killed himself by cold-heartedly choosing his ideals over his humanity. Even though his decision to save more lives was correct, it was wrong of him to disregard the inhumanity of his act. However, every life that he threw away was also a life he wanted to save. In the disaster he survived as a child, he must have heard people crying out, "I don't want to die." To save some lives but not others contradicted his core beliefs, founded on the pleas he heard. He was not allowed to mourn. Sins that are committed can be atoned for. Lives that are forsaken can be apologized to. But forgiveness can never be given to one who does not sway from a blood-stained past. That's why no matter who criticized his actions, he could not betray those he had cast away. As a result, he became worn down. Trying to be a hero of justice was killing him inside. To someone with his ideals, the idea of protecting the people you love was ridiculously impossible. It was inevitable that being a hero of justice became a selfish act, one that would incite a man to kill me. What difference is there between vigilante and criminal, after all? Actually, I imagine he was far more feared than any criminal, since he acted outside the law. He must have struck fear into anyone with a guilty conscience, even those above the law and officials. No negotiation, persuasion, or even calling upon his humanity would affect him. People probably couldn't comprehend why he did what he did. Explaining wouldn't have helped either. After all, not a single person in the world is capable of acting without self-interest, right? Could he be up to something awful? Could he be pulling the wool over our eyes with good deeds? Doubts became rumors, and rumors became truth, resulting in the hero of justice being turned over to the justice system by his closest friend. That was how the mysterious man who was feared by even evil people was ultimately defeated. Because he was a hero of justice, he accepted the people's justice without defiance. Servants are reproductions of legendary souls. You could also say they are reborn. In other words, his life ended at the hands of the courtroom. I screwed up. My friend feared me. I thought this man helped me because he cared for me, but if I had become a detriment to the public, he wouldn't hesitate to strike me down. It's not that his friend betrayed him. His ideals betrayed him. His friend realized that he was bonded not to a man, but a demon enforcing indiscriminate justice. He wasn't human at all, just a more infallible incarnation of the system. And so his friend concluded that one day the man would meet the same fate as those he'd killed. Therefore, this out-of-control vigilante had to be tricked into a trap. That's exactly right. Back then, and even now, I've never once hated that friend. There was only one thing I thought was unfortunate. When the time came for me to die, I believed I would be done in by righteous hatred, but it wasn't a death brought on by hatred. It was because he couldn't become someone else's gain. The people have a duty to end necessary evils. Redemption would not be his. It's karma. He was severed from society, just like the people whose lives he severed. Even if as a human being he realized his path was a mistake, in order to save as many people as possible, the young man was fated to fall to the righteousness he espoused. It's a perfectly drawn up story. Maybe that's why this hero of justice doesn't have a name. He lived by the sword and died by the sword. A hero without a name. His death showed the public the very sort of embodiment of justice they yearned for. Man.
すまない。締めっぽくなってしまったな。
Sorry. That was depressing.
理想に準じるだけでは
Just take away from this the lesson that devoting yourself to an ideal won't save anyone.
かつての私と今の私
The me back then and the me now are different. Don't get overwhelmed by thinking of us as the same person. Overwhelming? That my servant is a hero of justice? No way! A superhero who's stuck on upholding good and punishing evil would get old pretty fast. I wonder if Archer thinks he's a particularly strong servant.
そうだな。
Yeah, I'm not a very easygoing guy.
そこま
How
で
did you
言わ
know?
ないよとその通りだ。
That's right.
仮に
What's overwhelming about me isn't any heroic
それはまた
past.
別の理由だろう。今更改まって言う
You
のも
probably already know this, but I think that my true gift is pointing out my partner's faults.
相方に
He smiles. Archer smiled at me before, but I get the sense that this is something special. It was as if he made peace with his past life. That was enough. Maybe we met so that he could give me this smile. Captivated, I feel the tension flow out of me. Still, there's one last thing I want to ask. Is Archer happy now? Even if his life was unrewarding?
さて、英霊としてどうかはさておき
Well, no.
サーバント
Who
として
wouldn't be happy being a legendary soul? And a servant to boot. He talks with a dry, sardonic smile. Oh no. I went and ruined it. Now I can't ask if he's found redemption. Poor Archer. Must barely be able to contain his discontent at having an inexperienced master like me.
幸福な部類だろう。
I think this fight has been a good thing
私
for
は
me
実についてい
overall.
る
It's been
この戦いは
meaningful.
私に
redemptive.
も大きな意義があった。未熟っぷりに頭を悩ませ
There have been
たのは
times when your inexperience was frustrating, but
君はそう
you've been a good master. Wait, what? He's still making fun of me?
嫌味なものだ
As if. I'm not talking about good in terms of strongest or
最
best
高の
magi.
魔術師も
That doesn't matter to me.
私にはどうでもいいことだ。能力の高さ。
Abilities can be
魔
learned
術
and
師と
talent
して
can be
の才能はい
compensated
くらで
for.
も補える。だが、
But your
心の
spirit,
あり方だけは
that's something
私
unchangeable.
たちでは補えない。たとえ最弱であろうと。
Even if you've been the weakest, for me to have had just master with such a humane heart is... Archer cuts himself off there. Maybe he couldn't find the words, or maybe he didn't think they needed saying. But I know what he meant. The reason why as a servant he made his contract with a nameless magus. I know what appealed to him about an average person guided by forces beyond their control. The righteous path he strove to walk when he was alive helped me walk a better path.
まあ、苦労は人一倍だがね。
Okay,
特別手当
let's
でも
redouble our
らうとあり
efforts.
がわない
We won't be able to compete if we don't focus on the battle.
では、そろそろ
Story time's
戦い
over.
としよう
The Colosseum, the future, and a job that only you can do awaits. He gets up from his seat. There's no more reason to talk anyway. I think we've shared enough. I feel renewed as the nameless magi and servant face their final fight. Alright, so... we actually... We actually learned a little bit more about Archer. Let's see. Anything in the Matrix? Hero of Black Metal. This is the title given to the one who in a previous life was involved in the development and manufacture of many different types of weaponry. It hints at the fact that in his previous life, this archer was more of a craftsman than a warrior. In his mortal life, Archer was a magus who barely deserved the title, although he was a master in a previous Holy Grail. While not even remotely in the same league as Rin Tosaka, he did possess magic circuits capable of a single function. While many people prayed about justice and equality, he actually went out of his way to be an ally of justice, often at the expense of his own freedom. When faced with a potential disaster that was beyond his power to prevent, he willingly sold his soul to the Moon Cell in return for a miracle. Now, instead of playing the part of the hero, he willingly plays that of the servant instead. As for the human he once was, no traces of that person exist. Instead, he is now the personification of what most people would imagine one who holds the title of Ally of Justice to be. Alright, and yeah, it looks like we are coming up on time. Actually, still no skill points. Okay. I think let's prep the multimedia room and then we can call it. Okay, I'm going to start now. Take out the thing from Julius. I present Julius's article as Rin has requested. Next, Rin mumbles something and the lock clicks open. Okay, a success. This place will make a great base. I should be able to hack into the arena's lighting from here. Sorry to ask this of you, but while I'm hacking, you'll have to stall for time, Silver. Of course. While Rin is hacking here, I'll distract Leo. If correctly timed with the fall of the light, just one strike against Gawain is all that is needed. We'll only get one chance, and the lights will only dim for a second. You cannot mess up the timing. After I nod in agreement, Rin goes into the multimedia room. I better go find Leo right away, because if I miss him going into the arena and mess up the timing, the plan will amount to nothing. Alright. So, I guess tomorrow... I guess tomorrow we can go ahead and head down into the arena to try to engage with Leo and Gawain again. Right. In the meantime, who are we going to raid, and what are we going to raid with? Let's go ahead and raid to Love Trouble. Let's see. What to raid with? Let's just raid with our default message, I guess. We're gonna raid with Nobody Expects That Shinobi Inquisition. And go ahead and raid to Love Trouble. Alright, I will see y'all later. Let's go ahead and raid.